Subscribe to our YouTube channel and press the bell icon to get latest notifications.
My dear students, Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. This is your chemistry teacher. Today I am going to discuss on the topic, how do atoms exist? So my dear students, atoms of only few elements like noble gases like helium, neon, argon, krypton, etc. These are chemically unreactive and exist as free atoms or single atoms. Exist freely. So atoms of these elements, noble gases, these are chemically unreactive and exist freely or single atoms. While as atoms of the most of the elements are chemically reactive and exist in their combined form. That means in the form of compounds. So most of the atoms of elements or atoms of the most of the elements, they exist in the form of compounds or in their combined form. The students, atoms usually exist in two forms. Atoms usually exist in two forms. Number one, in the form of molecules, and number two, in the form of ions. So, molecules, a group of two or more than two atoms, when combined chemically each other by some attractive forces which are called chemical bonds. That means a molecule is formed by the combination of two or more than two atoms combined chemically together, which are held by some kind of attractive forces, and those forces are called chemical bonds. Those forces are called chemical bonds. So we may define molecule as the smallest particle of an element or a compound. We may define molecule as smallest particle of an element or a compound that can exist freely, under ordinary conditions and displays all the properties of that substance. So under ordinary conditions, these molecules can exist freely and can display all the properties of that substance. Now we have two types of molecules. One is molecule of an element. See, in case of an element, a molecule comprises same kind of atoms. Same kind of atoms. For example, oxygen molecule is formed of two oxygen atoms combined chemically with each other. So the chemical formula of the molecule of oxygen is O2. This O2 is the formula for oxygen molecule which is formed of two oxygen atoms. Two oxygen atoms or two oxygen atoms are combined chemically, resulted in the formation of oxygen molecule. So the formula becomes O2. Similarly, you can take out number of examples into consideration. For example, hydrogen molecule H2. For example, nitrogen molecule N2. For example, fluorine molecule F2. This molecule is made up of two fluorine atoms combined chemically with each other. This nitrogen is made up of two nitrogen atoms. That means in case of a molecule of element, same atoms are present. Same atoms combined with each other. As such, molecule of an element is homoatomic in nature. Molecule of an element is homoatomic. Homoatomic. Homoatomic simply means same kind of atoms are present in it. Fine. Similarly, we have molecule of compounds. Molecule of compounds. But before discussing the molecule of compounds, I would like to discuss with you atomicity. Atomicity. See, I told you that here oxygen molecule, the formula of oxygen molecule is 2. So we have written this numerical in the subscript of the bottom hand side of the symbol. So this is called atomicity. This numerical subscript is called atomicity. You know what atomicity tells us? Atomicity means the number of atoms present in one molecule. The number of atoms present in one molecule of an element. So the number of atoms present in one molecule of an element is called atomicity. So atomicity is of an element is indicated by writing numerical by writing number as a subscript on the right hand bottom side of the symbol. For example, this H2, here I have written as a subscript, a numerical in the subscript 2. This represents atomicity. This is called atomicity, and it simply means this molecule is made up of two hydrogen atoms. So atomicity of hydrogen is 2. On the basis of atomicity, elements may be classified as. On the basis of atomicity, elements may be classified as, see, atomicity. Elements can be classified as monoatomic, atomicity 1. We have noble gases like helium, neon, krypton. Similarly, we have some metals like sodium, magnesium, aluminum. We have carbon. The atomicity is 1. So we have diatomic molecules. In diatom we have hydrogen, we have nitrogen, we have oxygen, we have fluorine. We have triatomic molecules, ozone. Similarly, we have tetraatomic molecules, phosphorus. Then we have more than 4 atoms, so we call them as polyatomic. We have sulfur, S8, and we have fluorines, C16. So, on the basis of atomicity, the elements may be classified as monoatomic, diatomic, triatomic, tetraatomic, and polyatomic. Okay. As I already told you that these molecules exist freely under ordinary conditions and displays all the properties of that substance. We discussed molecules of elements, now we have molecules of compounds. We have molecules of compounds. In case of molecule of a compound, different atoms combine with each other. Different atoms combine with each other by means of chemical bonds. And you know that while the formation of a compound, atoms always combine together in a fixed proportion by mass, according to the law of constant proportion. Absolutely right. Compound formation involves the combination of elements, two or more than two elements, or you can say the different atoms combine with each other in a fixed proportion by mass according to the law of constant proportion. So, in case of molecule of compound, different atoms are combined with each other and which are chemically bonded by means of chemical bonds. For example, CO2. This is the formula for carbon dioxide. Here, one carbon atom is bonded with two oxygen atoms by means of chemical bonds. Similarly, molecules of compounds, they may be diatomic, triatomic, tetraatomic, or polyatomic in nature. So, this was about how atoms exist in nature, and I told you that only atoms of 5 elements exist independently. We have atoms of noble gases that exist freely in nature or as single atoms, while as atoms of the most of the elements exist in their combined form or in the form of compounds. Then we discussed the usual forms of atoms. They exist in two ways, either they exist in the form of molecules or they exist in the form of ions. Hope you have understood this much. Inshallah, next will be in the next topic. Till then, Khuda Hafiz, stay home and stay safe.